Training camp really gets kicked off this weekend as the Ravens will hold their first team practice on Sunday after the veterans arrive tomorrow. Here are some of the key things that I'm going to be watching over the course of the first week of training camp. Number one is who's out there on the field. The Ravens have a couple of key guys who are working their way back from injuries. Kyle Hamilton was sidelined with an elbow injury. Marlon Humphrey missed time over the course of the offseason. David Ajabo had the knee injury last year. Michael Pierce is another guy who wasn't out there a ton during the offseason. So who's on the field when the Ravens get out there for these practices? Is anybody held back? Who's full go? That is definitely something that I'll be watching closely over the course of the first few days. Second, I'll be paying close attention to the offensive line. This is probably the most intriguing position battle for the team this offseason. They have to replace 3 starters from last year's group on that offensive line. So what does a rotation look like early in camp? Does anybody really stand out in that competition? Of course, I think that a lot of this will get decided once the pads come on later in training camp, but we can get an early indication over the course of the first few days in terms of what the Ravens are thinking about that offensive line and who could be the leader in the clubhouse for some of those spots. And then the third thing that I'll be watching, of course, is the quarterback, Lamar Jackson. All eyes are always on number 8, and that will, of course, be the case this year as well. A big topic of conversation over the course of the offseason practices was that Lamar has slimmed down. He lost a ton of weight this offseason. How does he look? Is that still the case here early in training camp? How does he feel? Does he feel faster? Does he feel more elusive? Also, what's the chemistry like between him and the wide receivers? That is always a big point of emphasis early in camp. So how does that chemistry look in the passing game? So those are some of the big topics as the Ravens kick off training camp this weekend. And make sure that you stay tuned because we've got a lot of fun stuff coming your way. So we are going to be bringing you all the coverage, insight, analysis, videos, highlights from these practices. There's a lot of fun stuff coming your way. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.